Spring is here and oh my gosh, am I ready for it. Not only have we been cramped up because of COVID here in New York, but it also snowed like 5 million times. So I'm definitely ready for that iced coffee weather and here to help you figure out how you can best make iced coffee at home. Now, a device a lot of you have been asking me about is this, the Mr. Coffee iced coffee maker. I will admit this is not something that I personally would have bought for myself, but I'm gonna test it out. We're gonna try to get the best iced coffee possible from this, and then I'm gonna compare it to something that we can make in a pour-over device like the Hario V60 right here. Don't go anywhere. So first of all, we're making iced coffee today. This is different from cold brew. I know cold brew is super popular right now. I actually made a video last year and talked briefly about cold brew. I am sort of evolving in my feelings about how to best make cold brew. There's a lot of conventional wisdom about it, which I shared in that video, but I'm not so sure I agree with it anymore. So I'm gonna continue to experiment with cold brew, and I will have some more thoughts on that for you in upcoming videos. But for right now, we're talking about iced coffee, which is also very popular still. The big difference, of course, is iced coffee is made with ice, and cold brew is, as the name infers, brewed not at a hot temperature. It actually brews over the course of 24 hours. Now, this is something that you can make much faster. The Mr. Coffee iced coffee maker is actually sort of pitching themselves as a device that makes this for you super fast. You can see that they use the terminology rapid chill right here. It says, brewing quickly cools hot concentrated coffee over ice. Now this is actually very, very similar to the way that we're going to make iced coffee with the pour over device, but we'll talk about that in just a little bit. This is for single served iced coffee. It comes with this cup, and it brews directly into this cup. So if you're looking for something that's going to make coffee for you and a friend, this may not be it. The way that this works, I've got sort of a diagram up here that tells you how you can make the coffee. But basically, we've got a few different things here. We've got a filter basket. This is where the coffee goes. This little dripper down here, when it's on this setting, that's so that the water can come out. And when it's on this, that sort of stops it from continuing to drip into the cup here. And then in the reservoir chamber here, you will see that this is where the water goes. Now, the way that they have set this up is so that you use this cup and this scoop for all your measurements. You're supposed to scoop up coffee into this scoop, fill up water to this line, fill up ice in this glass to this line. Now, you could do that. I tried it. I wasn't actually quite a fan of it. Now, I have not tried this using the method that I am going to try in this video, but I would like to try to give it the best shot of making good coffee. And so I'm going to be using a recipe for this that uses weight. That is going to involve you having a scale in the kitchen. If you don't have that, I recommend going and getting one. I could sit here and tell you, yes, just use the scoop, use the little tumbler that it comes with, it's not going to be good. I already know that because I already tried it. And the problem with doing that, you look at this scoop here. Okay, this has, this is going to be a certain amount of volume, right? Coffee, you might be able to fit more coffee in here or less coffee in here, depending on how you pack it, depending on how old the coffee is, depending on how it's ground, what the grind setting is. Very easily, I could probably get, 10 more grams in here if I made it finer than we are going to brew. Anyway, so we're gonna pretend that these don't come with it, and we're gonna use a recipe. On the other side of the table here, we have the Hario V60. This is a conical brewing device, and I chose this because this is the traditional vehicle for Japanese iced coffee. But you could really use any pour-over device for this, like a Kalita Wave or a Chemex. These other brewing devices might require a different grind size than what we're going to use. The Chemex would use a medium. The V60 is going to use a medium fine grind. The way that this will work is we will be pouring hot water into the conical brewer, and it's going to drip down into ice that's in the carafe. Which sounds kind of familiar. Where have I? That's exactly how the Mr. Coffee machine works. The difference is that Mr. Coffee calls it rapid chill, which is just a little bit of marketing genius on their part. But this was actually something that was first done in Japan. And the iced coffee that we had in the United States for such a long time was kind of lacking because we would just, chill coffee with ice. Some smart people would freeze their ice cubes, but the Japanese have been ahead of us in coffee for quite a while, and what they did was just create a recipe and compensate for the fact that there was going to be ice in it. So the ice instantly chills the coffee, or rapid chills the coffee, and then it's a little bit less water that's going into it. So we're going to brew this with a 17-to-1 ratio. That's 1 part coffee, 17 parts liquid. And then I'm going to split that liquid into 30% ice and 70% coffee. 30, 70. Pretty good. Got my fractions down. So I'm also going to be using a coffee that I'm pretty familiar with. This is City Boy Coffee's Echoes of Inti, which was a part of our Coffee World Tour coffees. It's produced by 8 really incredible producers at Valley Inca in Peru. And the reason I'm using this is because I know what it tastes like. I know what I like about it. I haven't brewed it as an iced coffee, so it'll really give us the opportunity to focus on the brewing. I'm also gonna make our recipe the same for both of the devices because of the fact that the Mr. Coffee defaults to, it has a little sort of line in here that you're supposed to fill the water up to, which corresponds to the glass that they gave you. But it holds 300 grams of water. So I'm going to use 300 grams of water in this recipe and in this recipe. And the other thing that I'm going to do here for the Mr. Coffee is I'm going to use hot water in it as well, because one of the problems that these types of devices tend to have is that they don't get hot enough. So we're going to just give it a little extra help there. And last but not least, I'm actually going to flip this over while I'm brewing it. Give it a little bit of time that it's closed, which should give the water a little bit more time with the grinds. Sometimes the water just flows right through these and doesn't really get the chance to extract as much as we'd hope. So hopefully this will give it some advantages and we'll get a nice cup of coffee from it. hot water through the paper. That's significantly lower than what they are recommending. I'm going to start off, this is 25 grams of coffee. So I'm going to start out with 50 grams for the bloom. Just agitate it a little bit. See those bubbles there from the bottom? That is trapped carbon dioxide. Looks good. Continue to pour now till we get to 300. And soon we'll get to try this coffee. Japanese coffee on this side, rapid chill.
Before I taste this coffee, I want to invite you to an incredible online event on April 9th, celebrating the coffee industry in Yemen. Amal Yemen, which means hope for Yemen, will bring together people from all over the world to talk about some exciting discoveries from the country that likely first served coffee as a beverage. It will address the humanitarian crisis, celebrate the culture of Yemen, and talk about how coffee can improve lives in this beautiful nation. The event is only $5 and should be incredible. Check out the link in the description below. Now, I have some iced coffee to drink.
I'm giving this away to one of you. There are two ways that you can enter for that. You can join the Patreon. You'll get 2 entries in the contest if you're a Patreon member. Or you can leave a comment below and I will reach out to you. So this is interesting. They are finishing here at just about the same time. A few things I just want to point out here. We have a nice flat coffee bed there. A little bit muddy on the sides. I could have done a better job there. But over here, we're looking at something a little bit different. Now this is very hot. I'm going to try not to scald myself. But if you look at these are not flat. You can see all around the sides there, everything is kind of, you can see everything is kind of indented. Now there's a difference there because the flat extraction that we got here with the V60, which like I said, a little muddy there around the edges. Ideally, I would have gotten all of that off. This means that the water went down and it was an even extraction. Over here, what we're looking at, the water all came through this little thing here. And the result is that we don't have a flat coffee bed. Let's give this a try here. All right. See here, this one looks a little bit lighter, but it's hard to say because this one is in plastic and this one is in glass. But I'm gonna give them a try here and we'll see what we think. That's very nice. I'm gonna add a couple cubes here because it's not hot. It's definitely chilled, but I'd like it a little colder. Let's try that one more time here. Yeah, see, that's fully icy now. Now, I'm getting some nice sweetness there. Getting some really nice flavors from the oils and Very aromatic. Let's try this one. This is a lot better than when I tried it in my kitchen the other day without the recipe. Yeah, okay. The recipe went a long way here. When I had this the other day in my kitchen, it was bitter and it was watery. Here, what I'm missing here is the clarity that I'm getting from this. This is crystal clear. It's sweet. I'm getting, this is delicious. I'm not gonna, I really prefer this quite a bit. This is really good iced coffee. Just like I went into a coffee shop. It's strong, it's flavorful. It does, it's got flavor that just sort of fills your mouth. I really, really like this. This really pales in comparison when you drink it right after this. And the reason, there's an expansiveness to the flavor that I'm getting here. Oh, it's interesting. You get a little bit in the aftertaste on this. But yeah, and just the sweetness of this, the natural sweetness that's in the coffee. I'm missing all of that here. It's not bitter. This is actually worlds better than using the scoop and the lines on here. Moral of the story, weigh things, use a recipe. But ultimately, I mean, if I had to put these on a scale, this is a 6 out of 10. It was a 3 yesterday. Honestly, it was a 3. This is a solid 8 or 9, somewhere in between. This is very good. This is close to a 9 for me. It's not quite there, but it's close to a 9. And this, six and a half even. It's just, I'll give it a 7. What the hell? We'll give it a 7. This is, I'm very surprised by this. So that's my take on this. If you have the time, if you have the energy, do this. I mean, it took me about the same amount of time to do this as it took me to do this. Why not? Why not do this? That's what I have to say. But if you want to do this, you can do this, especially because I'm giving it away. So be sure to put your name in the comments below, or subscribe to the Patreon, which really helps me continue to keep making videos like this. I will see you next time on City Boy.